look what you've done to me. 4, 5, 6, we were not the right mix. 7, 8, we'd better separate. 9 and 10, I put your mind in hell. Stop acting like you were the guy when all you could do was cry and ask for another try. You screwed up with all of your lies and never apologize. You said the fault was mine, that you pay guilty for your crimes. Read between the lines.
Okay.
Hey guys, it's Laurie, back at it again by God's grace. As you can tell by the title, I'm going to be beating my friend Stevie's face for the very first time. Stevie is a recording artist and she wanted me to do her face for her release party. She was having for her brand new single, Tetris, link in the bio, check it out. And I said yeah, but I've never done a full face makeup of anyone before, so she really took a chance on me. So first thing I did was prime her face with the Sephora mask primer. Left on her face for about an hour and then I told her to really rub it in, and that primer made her makeup last 24 hours. Yeah, that's crazy. Then I went in and did her eyebrows and I used the Benefit Brow Wiz pencil in the color Dark 4. I basically just mimicked her eyebrow hairs with the pencil because she really has thick eyebrows. And I know her face looks white, that's because of the primer, but trust me, she felt moisturized, and like I said, the primer really made her makeup last really long because she was on stage singing and she has oily skin as well. Okay, next I went in and I concealed her eyebrows. I used the NYX palette, the NYX Contour Concealer palette, and basically on top of her eyebrows I used the concealer closer to her skin tone, and on the bottom I used the concealer that's a little bit brighter than her skin tone because we really don't want that halo effect that is so 2015. So yeah, that's what I did right there.
All you could do was cry and ask for another try. You screwed up with all of your lies and never apologize. You said the fault was mine, that you pay guilty for your crimes.
Okay, next for her second brow, she has a slit in her brow and she wanted me to replicate that slit. I had personally never done it before, so I did my best to replicate what she wanted. I think I did a pretty good job replicating the slit. You guys tell me. She liked it though, so I guess it wasn't that bad. Let me know down below if you think I did a good job. See, it's not that bad, is it? No. Next, I went in and I concealed her dark spots using the LA Pro Concealer in the shade Orange. Basically, this step was extremely important because she was going to be under bright lights and on stage all night long. So I wanted to make sure there's no darkness peeking through her foundation. And to do that, I used an orange shade to cancel out any darkness that could peek through. So that's what I'm doing right there. Next, I'm using my favorite foundation of the moment. It's the Juvia's Place foundation stick in the color Tunisia. This foundation stick is literally like applying a second skin to your face. It's full color coverage and it lasts really long. So I'm putting that all over her face and I'm just blending it in using the Juvia's Place foundation brush, and I'm buffing in that foundation. Next, I keep going back and forth, but I'm done with the face for now, and I'm going in with the concealer to prime her face, prime her eyes, and I'm using the P. Louise base in the shade Rumor number 3, and I'm blending it in with my Sunday Ivy sponge. Next, I'm setting the eyes with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, just so I can have a nice base and proceed with my eyeshadows. The first eyeshadow palette I'll be using is the Nubian 2 palette. I'm going in with the shade Morocco, and I'm just putting that all over at her eyelids. I'm really buffing in the shade everywhere on the eyelid, and this color will basically at the transition shade. So next I'm going into the shade Jezebel in that same palette, and I'm basically putting that shade in the V corner areas of her eyes, and I'm concentrating it right there while at the same time slowly buffing it in into her crease area. Next, I'm going into the Juvia's brand new purple palette, and I'm using that dark purple and I'm putting it in the V corner of her eyes again, and I'm doing the same thing I did with Jezebel, and basically just blending it into her crease and deepening her crease using that dark purple color. Next, I'm going back into that shade Morocco just to bring it out a little bit because I feel the purple kind of washed it off. And I basically went back and forth between that dark purple in that palette and the Morocco palette just to make sure until I got the intensity that I wanted with both colors. Next, I basically cut the crease using the P. Louise primer in the color 0, and I used a fan just to make sure it dried down real fast so I could add in my next eyeshadow colors. So I went back to the Juvia's purple palette and I used that light purple right there, and I basically tapped that color onto the eyelid. I did not swipe, I tapped that color really carefully onto the eyelid. Then I went back into that dark purple, still in the same palette, and sort of cleaned up the edges so it looked less messy and much more crisp. And I basically just deepened her crease even more. Next, I went back into the palette, and this time I chose that glittery purple, the light purple glitter, and I tapped it onto her eyelid again. Mind you, I had no idea what look I was aiming for with her face. I let the spirit guide me, you know what I'm saying? So I just did what I did, and it turned out good, I think. So right here, I'm basically just using a clean brush and I'm blending in her crease area just to make sure everything's crystal clear. And now I'm going into the Huda Beauty There's a Dusk palette, and I'm using that purple shade and I'm tapping it onto her eyelid just to increase that purple glitter look on her eyelids. And when I was done with that, I went back to the purple palette and I went into the purple glitter, the light glitter that I used before. I think I was trying to create a glitter gradient, I don't know. But next, I'm basically going back in with the dark purple, and I'm increasing the intensity in the outer corner of her eye with, I think, a more denser brush because I wanted a fake smoky kind of look right there. Next, I went back into the Nubian palette and used the Jezebel shade just to smoke out her her waterline. Then I used the Huda Beauty Life Liner. I used the pencil part just to trace her eyeline, and open up her eyes a little bit. I didn't go completely in. As you can see, I really stayed at the edge of it. Then I went back into the Jezebel color and sort of smoked out her waterline a little bit. Next, I went in my favorite eyeliner of all time, the Bourjois, and I did her liquid liner. I kind of messed up, so I'm cleaning out my mess. Everyone makes mistakes, you know. Then I went in with the Chestnut Born This Way concealer just to highlight her face. I highlighted the typical areas you usually want to highlight: your nose, your chin, your forehead. Y'all know the deal, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what to do. So homegirl is going to be on stage the whole night and basically being the star of the night, so I wanted her concealer to last long, so I let it dry down a little bit, and doing that basically not only increases coverage but makes it easier for you to blend it out. So that's what I did. And to basically blend her whole face, I've been using the Sunday Ivy beauty sponges, which by my opinion are the best sponges on the market. Next, for contour, I used the Juvia's Place Stick Foundation in the color Congo. You see how amazed she was about how pigmented that foundation stick was? But I basically contoured her face using the color Congo. And I did the areas where I had to contour, the nose, increase her cheekbones. She already had amazing cheekbones. All it was just increased the intensity. And I'm using the NYX Professional brush just to blend that out a little bit. And I kind of forgot to clean up the eyeshadow, so I'm doing that right now. I'm all over the place, guys, but the final look turned out amazing, so just bear with me. So I went back to creating a shadow on her nose, also known as contouring her nose, so her nose will look snatched. So she was going to be on stage all night, so obviously I had to highlight some more. So next I used the Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 10 just to, you know, boost the highlights just a little bit. And when I was blending it out, I slightly just tapped on her face just to make sure that highlight shade stayed right there and not just spread all over her face, just to prevent that, you know, cascade ready look. Then I went back in with my brush just to fix her nose contour and make sure everything just looked seamless. Next, I'm basically pre-setting her face, if that makes sense. I'm not using the setting powder that I will use just yet because I feel that that gives a more flawless finish, pre-setting your face, and she has oily skin, so doing that prevents her oils from like coming up, showing up way too early in the party. Now after doing all that, I'm now using the actual setting powder, and I'm using two powders, the Mercia powder as well as Fenty Beauty's setting powder in the shade Honey. I mix them together and you see how she's puffing her face. This is a trick I like to do, and this prevents lifelines from forming. So I bet you didn't know that, huh? You're welcome. And yeah, I'm just setting basically wherever I put the concealer. And I'm also using the brush again just to kind of bake around her T-zone area because that's where she gets the most oily. So I let it bake, I let it sit just a little bit. I brushed it all off using the MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade Deepest, and that's what I used to preset. So that's what I'm doing right now. Next, I'm setting her contour using the Fenty Beauty Mocha Mami bronzer. I love this bronzer. You see how it just bronzed up her face and she looks flawless. Next, this is something I love doing, spraying my beauty sponge and basically pressing the powder into the skin. Doing this literally makes it so your powder blends into your foundation, that blends into your skin and gives you like a non-cakey powdery look. Next, I'm going to my favorite part, which is the blush. I'm using the Black Up blush in the shade Orange, and I'm basically putting this almost everywhere on her face.
Ça, et t'es chaude, franchement.
Really?
Respect. Put some respect on your name. Ah!
So yeah, she kind of praised me a little bit. Then I set her face using the Pixie Glow Mist, and then I pressed the setting spray into her face even more, just to mush in that blush and blend into her skin to create a flawless skin-like look. Then I added some more blush again because you can never have too much blush. And then I highlighted using the Nerfititi Juvia's Place highlighter. I put it in the higher areas of her face.
And this is blush, right? Oh, no. This is highlight. Blush, c'est genre. This is blush. I'm lost. It's okay. It's alright.
Isn't she so cute? Then I further highlighted using the MAC Cosmetics highlighter in the shade Gold Deposit. Because like I said, she's going to be on stage, you know, she's going to have all these lights on her. People are going to take pictures of her. I wanted her to be highlighted to the gods. So I highlighted literally her nose everywhere. Next, I went back to her brows and I used the Benefit Browless gel mascara just to set her brows. And then I went in with my eyeliner and my NYX liner in the shade Purple, just to create this funky look that I thought would go great with her whole vibe. Next, I used the Fenty Beauty PMS Mattemoiselle to line her lips. Then in the middle of her lips, I put in the Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Pillow Talk. And on top of that, I added the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Confetti. This lip gloss actually came in a set that we released during the holiday season, and I have a whole review on that set on my channel. Just click the eye. So check it out if you haven't. Next, I'm setting her face again using the MAC finish powder, and then to set that powder again, I sprayed her face, and then after that I did what I did before and I pressed it into her skin. Next, I used the mascara, Benefit mascara, just to prep her eyelashes for the lashes I was gonna use. I low-key struggled because I've never put mascara on someone before, better yet fake lashes, so I was sweating. I was like, how am I gonna do this? But I figured it out, and the lashes I used are the Tartiste lashes in the shade, well, in the style Goddess. I personally own these lashes and they looked trash on me, so I gave them to her and they looked amazing on her. Then even though the glue was transparent, I went over it using my black liquid liner. Next, I smoked out the bottom of her eyeline with that dark purple again. Then I set her face one last time, but this time with the NYX Velouté Dewy Finish spray. And then I, fanned her a little bit, and va-va-voom, we were done. Look how flawless she looked. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this mini tutorial of me beating my first ever face. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think. Oh, and make sure you check out Stevie's music video for Tetris, and also follow her on Instagram at STEVY ENAY. Alright guys, see you in my next video. Bye!
Comme un Tetris, je connais ma tête dans tous les sens, mots là qu'elle maîtrise. Je m'attirais vers le bas jusqu'à ce que tu